Hiya! Welcome! I don't know why, but I just love buying records from Japan. I mean, I buy records from all over the world, but there's something about buying things from Japan that pleases me. I can't really explain it. I've got two records to show you today, both from Japan, although from different websites. They're not actual Japanese records. I think they'll both be US pressings, to be honest. I would quite like to get some Japanese pressings of things into my collection at some point, but there's the whole actual buying from their process that I'm into, really. I'm a little bit worried about the second one, though, and you'll see why when I get onto it. That's going to be a mail opening. But first I'm going to show you a purchase from a Japanese Discogs seller. This came just under a week ago, I think. I've opened the package, but I've not listened to the album yet, and I've not even looked at the album because I wanted to do that for the first time with you today, because this is going to look very unique, the disc. And I'm talking about Andrew WK's second studio album, The Wolf. So this will be pre-owned, but the seller, not only did he send one of these good quality outer sleeves, but he also put it in one of these, what I would call a throwaway adhesive one, which, as you can possibly see, I've not even opened yet. He separated the disc out with its inner sleeve from the main outer. You may know I've been collecting a bit of Andrew WK lately. I bought his album I Get Wet. This was one that was a pretty good price from Japan. Yeah, it wasn't dirt cheap because, unsurprisingly, we've got the extra postage, extra taxes, blah blah blah. But I think I ended up paying ultimately around 40, maybe between 40 and 45 pounds for this, which, considering this is meant to be a limited edition of 500 copies, quite like I Get Wet was when I bought that from a UK Discogs seller. I don't think I'm doing too badly really with these really limited Andrew WK pressings. There is going to be a couple of his studio albums that I think are going to be rather more difficult to lay my hands on, but I'm going to keep looking, I always do. Right, let's get this open because this is a very special looking edition. As I say, apparently this was a pressing that was limited to only 500 worldwide. Still got the original cellophane on it, but obviously that's been opened. But let's take a look at this disc. Now then, I'll tell you how the disc is described on Discogs before I get going, and let's see how accurate it is. It's classed as a brown and beige wolf swirl coloured disc. Yeah, that's going to look interesting, I think. Here we go. Oh, wow. Yeah. That looks different. The beige, it's kind of like a cream colour to me, I would call that. I suppose beige is a perfectly acceptable example. Look at the brown swirl. Oh, Jason, when we eventually get round to pressing your album, it's going to have to look something like this. And there'll be some people watching who'll get that, and other people will be like, what's he mean? But yeah, that is certainly one of the most different looking records I've picked up in quite some time. They call it a wolf swirl, which is obviously to do with the title of the album, but yeah. You can leave it in the comments what you think that probably looks like, but I already know, yeah. I'm not that ignorant. There we are. That was fun. Been looking forward to seeing that ever since I bought this. So there we are, from a Japanese seller on Discogs Marketplace. Andrew WK The Wolf. Oh, probably my favourite ever Andrew WK song, or of those what I've heard so far, as I'm still discovering some of his music anyway. But that's on here. It's track 5 on side A, Never Let Down, which I believe was the lead single off this. I absolutely adore that. Let's move on to a purchase from a website via a proxy service that I've not used in quite some time, and I'm talking about Japanese Mercari. I've used Mercari in Japan once before, but most of the time I've used via the Buyee proxy service or intermediary service. I've used Yahoo Japan Auctions. It's very simple. I've done videos about Buyee and how to use it before, so you can check back in my music collecting playlist for those. Very simple. Yeah, you get your fees that you need to be paid to Buyee and international postage, just like you would purchase on Discogs or eBay or wherever, but it just opens yourself up to a lot more options really for record collecting and for anything really. If you go on Buyee, there's just countless Japanese websites selling all sorts of stuff. I mean, if you're into collectibles, there's just different websites. The top two that are always listed website art wise are Yahoo Auctions Japan and Mercari, but there's many others as well. This is from Mercari. It was delivered today via FedEx. I'm a little bit worried though, which is a first for me when using Buyee, because normally they're brilliant at like inspecting stuff, and I'm sure I paid for an inspection here and for them to repackage stuff if need be. This doesn't look like it's been repackaged from the original Japanese seller on Mercari. I don't doubt that Buyee have inspected it and it was fine when it came to their warehouse, but it looks like it's got a little bit bent in transit look. I'm hoping it's just the cardboard and that the record inside's going to be okay. This is one that I've been after for ages, for a band that I've been collecting a lot of this year, but I've kind of run into a brick wall or two with the last few albums that I need. But I found this one. I'm trying to think what the total price for this would be. It'll be around 40 because you kind of pay in two different stages on Buyee. You pay for the item you might have won or bought on Yahoo Japan or Mercari. You pay a few fees and a bit of postage, and then you pay international postage and any other fees like for extra packaging. It sounds complicated, it's not. Believe me, if I can order via Buyee, anyone can. So I think I've got into this quite easy. Does look like there's extra cardboard in here, so I'm a little bit less concerned about the bend than I was. But I think this bend would have happened in transit, I'm pretty certain, because I've used Buyee plenty of times and I've always been very happy with their overall service and how good a condition things have got to me. I was about to say I think I need to do a bit more slicing, but I'm just tearing this mailer open here. Starting to see this album now. It's almost like it's stuck to the inside of the bubble wrap here. I want to be a little bit careful as there's already a bend and I don't want to make it worse. To be fair, I think we've survived what may have been a treacherous journey from Japan to the UK. Let's get it out and have a look. Yeah, I think we're alright. So I'm talking about another Weezer album, and this is, I can never pronounce this, Maladwat. I don't know how to say it. I think this is an original 2002's ringing a bell for this release. US pressing, but it was imported from Japan. It was up on Mercari for pretty cheap. There's a few of these actually on Yahoo Auctions Japan and Mercari, and they're all the same, you know, there's no difference really, apart from some maybe later pressings. I don't really care which pressing I got, original or reissue, but this one seemed particularly cheap, and the seller on Mercari had good ratings. I do want to take the disc out, it's just standard black vinyl, but I want to make sure it looks okay. Oh, it's come with its original insert, I didn't even realise. That's been kept in nice condition. So if I was in Japan living there, this would have cost under £20 really to my door, but you can double that at least when you're ordering internationally, and then Buyee you get in their fees. There we are. Yeah, I'd say that disc looks really nice. The bend that the packaging received has not made a difference. Excellent stuff. How far will this be in Weezer's albums chronology? This might be their 4th or 5th studio album, this. 2002, it will be fairly early on for Weezer. About a year after their highly rated and probably still one of my favourite of theirs, Green album. So there is only, I think, 3 Weezer studio albums I need now. This was one that seemed, although it was still quite highly priced on Discogs and eBay, which is where I look mostly for pre-owned vinyl, you still work out a little bit cheaper to get it via Buyee from Mercari. But the other 3 are just silly money, but I'm going to keep looking because even this has been silly money at some places. I think for around £40, including all the postage and extra charges and stuff. I'm very happy with Maladwat by Weezer. So there we are, another successful bit of shopping for records in the land of the rising sun. Like I say, I was worried when I saw the bend in the packaging from Mercari, but it turned out everything was fine. And Andrew WK, the Wolf disc, I was just really looking forward to seeing that, and just seeing that really unusual beige and brown wolf swirl. But we all know what it really looks like, don't we? But thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this look at these 2 purchases. I want to say special thanks, as always, to my wonderful subscribers. and generous patrons. My Patreon link, my Facebook group link, and a link for contents insurance are down in the description below. I'm going to go now, and I will ask, because it's very unlikely I'll have listened to these by the time this video gets published. So which would you listen to first? Would you put that lovely brown and beige disc, Andrew WK The Wolf, on first? Or would you rather hear some early noughties pop punk from Weezer, or power pop as I would call it, with their album that I struggle to pronounce, but I'm going to embarrass myself and call it Maladroit? Let me know, and I do hope that all of you will join me again next time for my next Japanese record collecting video. Cheers everyone. See ya!